and the way he calls the bell is to go like this, and he puts the bag over his head, and like pretending to put the bag over his head. And that means if you said the F word or the SH word, whatever, you're going to have a brown bag over the rest of your head for the rest of the show. Moving on from there, we get to a theater called The Annoyance. Now, all of the rules have been put on improv from places like the Second City, from places like Improv Olympics, where they say you must use rules such as yes and, where somebody comes in, they tell me something in the scene. For example, a woman comes in and she says, "Hi, I'm your sister May. Do you want to go to the circus?" I can't say, "Well, hey Randy, how's it going?" That's telling my scene partner no. So these rules are very concrete, and they're a way to get the show to go. Now, back to The Annoyance. The Annoyance believes the opposite of this. The Annoyance was started by a man named Nick Napier. It was originally called The Metaphor, and it was founded in 1987. All these other theaters follow a strict set of rules, and you rely on your scene partner. The Annoyance says, get rid of the rules. Remember to play like you were when you were 5. You don't need the rules. Rely on yourself, and you will support your scene partners that way. If you give something to yourself, then you can create a scene. You don't need to rely so heavily on your scene partner. The Annoyance is famous for thinking outside of the box. They are very opposite of comedy sports. They have lewd things like blood and gore in their shows. They have sex and violence in their shows. They have, I think I saw a transgendered show there once, and it's all comedy based, but it's very much more on the blue side of comedy. One of their most famous shows that ran for a long time was called Co-Ed Prison Plus. So there you go. There's an example of something that's not so friendly. A big supporter of the Annoyance Theater is a man named John Waters, who is the writer and director of movies like Hairspray, which we will be performing soon here at Columbia. We go next to a theater which I currently perform at. I was at IO, my team got cut, that's something that happens. The Playground Theater is the nation's only co-op improvised theater, which means that the money that they make goes directly back into the theater. The actors, improvisers, they do everything. They run the lights, they work the box office, they clean the bathrooms, they scrub the floors. If something is broken, they fix it. So it's all completely self-sustainable. This was founded by people that came from Second City and wanted to have a place that was less political. Sometimes the other improv theaters are, if you can't make it by this certain time, you're out of here. And the Playground Theater wanted to say, you're not good enough, we want to make you better. We want you to rely on your team partner and work together to create something. So that's where I found my home. I really appreciate that theater, because it is like being in your living room with your friends. There's other improv theaters that kind of sprouted up since then. There's an improv theater in Wicker Park called Gorilla Tango, where they kind of are independent teams that aren't associated with one in particular theater, but if you have a concept or an idea for a show, you go there, you pitch it, and they take it and you can set it up. There's also Chemically Imbalanced Comedy, which is in Roscoe Village, I believe, just outside of Wrigleyville, which is similar. There's also Studio B, which is very independent. You do lots of weird things with Studio B. Independent teams tend to get formed by classes that people go through together. They decide that they like each other's styles, and they go from different theaters and play different shows. And one of the places you can perform at is in bars, so you have bar props. Bar pros can get a little ridiculous. It tends to be more men, more male influence, and sometimes it's a little uncomfortable to watch because these people think that dick jokes and fart jokes are funny. And sometimes, as a female comedian, when you've heard a dick joke or a fart joke for the 100th time, it really is like, think outside the box and look for something new. Other things you could do with improv comedy, it springboards to other things. It can help you improve your own life. We talked about it. It can help you improve your expressiveness with interpreting, but it can also improve your expressiveness in the workplace. Improvisers are often hired to go to corporations and teach people to work together. They encourage people to come outside their shells. I mean, they're going back to the old roots of this is a therapeutic way of healing people. So they take what used to be for little children and they apply it to adults. And so they